Hidden away in the perfect hills of South Dorset is a small village with a population of 0. Tyneham became a ghost village in 1943 when its 225 residents were given just 28 days to leave by the military. Believing they were doing their part for the war effort, the villagers obliged. One such villager was Douglas Churchill.
The army moved into every available house. They was training the troops, the tanks and that, for the invasion. You was doing your little bit for the war effort, and you felt that you was doing something for allowing them having your home. There was some wonderful chaps, some of those troops were.
Promised that she would one day return to her home, the last villager, Helen, left a note on the church door reading, "Please treat the church and houses with care. We have given up our homes where many of us lived for generations to help win the war to keep men free. We shall return one day and thank you for treating the village kindly." So where did the villagers get relocated to? Well, many villagers went to live with their friends and family, and the rest ended up 8.5 miles away from Tyneham Close in Sandford. The council homes have been built specifically for the evicted villagers. These were to be their temporary homes until they could return to their real ones when the war ended. However, in 1948, the Attlee government decided the village was needed and would only die again for the Cold War. This meant the evicted villagers could not return to their homes and instead became permanent residents of Tyneham Close. However, the villagers and people of the surrounding areas were not happy with this decision to make Tyneham a completely restricted zone permanently, and so claiming Tyneham to be a beauty spot people deserved to see, many people began petitions. The most successful of the petitions was done by Rodney Legg.
I heard about the villagers and that they had been promised they could return at the end of the war, and it was Churchill's pledge that had never been honoured. So it became my teenage rebellion, going there, taking photographs, exploring it. It was then a real tangle. It became my campaign. It started a Dorset County magazine and had Surrender Purbeck as the headline. We were creating waves, and the army then used to demolish the buildings that we had used as the backdrop to our story, and we were bringing back old villagers. You know, they were born here with posters saying they're born here 60 years ago, and John Gould wants to come home. Well, sadly, most of those have now died off, and indeed the next generation are now fading away too. So we were losing the human interest thing, but the decisive problem that caused me to pull the plug on the campaign was that although we were close to success and stood a real chance of getting the army out, had we done so, instead of the land being preserved by the National Trust or becoming a national park and being respected for the wildlife reservoir that it had become, and it was made perfectly clear to us that at least two of the key owners would either turn it into agricultural land, as already had been done at Kimmeridge, and virtually ploughed up all these ancient field systems. Everything would have been trashed. We just saw all that we had done. Instead of getting the public back, we wouldn't even get our remaining tenants back. So I then agreed a compromise with the army. They threw public access at the problem in a way it was unprecedented for a live firing range of any kind, let alone one in daily use for banging off tanks. So it was a success, and I'm happy with the results. I'm happy that the army stays and the people can come here at the weekends.
Because of this petition, people were allowed access to the still military grounds, a decision that is still in place today. Many people access Tyneham on weekends or the holidays, although the residents may never return to their homes, and Helen's note went unheeded. Their unquestionable support for the war will not be forgotten, and Tyneham will live on as a protected beauty spot.